Hey guys, it's Angela, and in this video, we're going to talk about Nancy Mace introducing measures to ban men from women's restrooms on Capitol Hill. Apparently, this is controversial, and some men are very upset that they cannot go into women's bathrooms. Please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel as we see all of the backlash that this has unnecessarily gotten. So this man is definitely making a name for himself in this moment. This person posted, Nancy posted, "This is the exact type of man I don't want in the women's restroom with me." He says he's going to grab my ratty looking hair, drag my face to the floor, repeatedly do this and that. And yeah, can you imagine seeing that about yourself? Seeing this is not cute.
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that women's bathroom and I grab your ratty looking fucking hair and drag your face down to the floor.
Okay, so you are further proving her measures as correct,
while I repeatedly bash.
Yeah, so what you are doing right now is, first of all, proving how crazy it is that men, trans women, enter into women's bathrooms because they have the opportunity to do stuff like this. So good job. Thank you for proving us correct.
Shit in until the blood's everywhere.
Wow.
And you're dead.
Wow.
Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this.
And she did. We all received this message. What a horrendous message it was. Everybody please tag Capitol Police and the FBI, says Libs of TikTok. This trans activist is now openly posting death threats. Prepare to blank. And look, this is what they want us to consider beautiful. I condone murder. That is what this person goes on to say.
And why is J.K. Rowling still alive? We should be focusing our efforts and our resources not on assassinating Trump, but instead on assassinating J.K. Rowling. That fucking wench needs to die. She needs to burn on the stake and die.
Wow. I'm sorry, but what an insane psychopath. Insane psychopath. And here we have another video. The thing is there's times where these things are recorded. This man, he recorded himself and he posted it, but that just means that there's thousands other people who think the same thing. And here is a person who recorded themselves sliding their phone under a stall to film another woman. And again, these are only the people who have been caught. That just means that more and more of these things are happening. And thank goodness that Nancy is actually doing something about it. And that this starts in Capitol Hill, and eventually, hopefully, we won't be seeing all these gender fluid bathrooms everywhere, or bathrooms that are supposed to be for women and they have a literal W on the door. But I guess we're living in such an upside down world that people are mistaking them for M's and they think that they can go into them. No, I'm sorry. But if it bothers you so much to not be able to use public women's bathrooms, then maybe don't be out in public when you need to use the restroom. If it bothers you so much and you just simply can't handle it, then go home every time you need to use the restroom, because there's absolutely no need for a man to be in a woman's restroom, period. And this video is just horrible, just horrible. I'm not even going to play it. Here we have this Mike Lee posting, "The party of Diddy wants to force women to share locker rooms with biological men. This dude who dresses up as a woman and won a congressional seat is very mad that women don't want him using the women's restroom on Capitol Hill. Now you have to walk into the man's bathroom like this, as you should. So now you are a woman using the men's restroom when we all know that is not true, because you cannot go from man to woman. It is like having a tree that grows apples and you go up to the tree and you tape a sign that says peaches, or you put some pictures that say peaches, and you put on mascara and you grow out your hair and you wear power lesbian blazers. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because even though the tree has a picture of peaches on it, everybody knows that it's an apple tree. Everybody knows. So as much as you want to lie to yourself, it doesn't matter. Sarah McBride is male. Yes, will always be male. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. If you were born a man or woman, that's just the way it is. Whether you like it or not, you have to come to terms with it. And I am so sick of society trying to please people who just want to wear a dress and then consider themselves a woman. I mean, okay, but then when you try to force other people to cater to all of your specific needs, that's where people got to draw the line. Not okay. How fitting. International Men's Day is today. Haha. Happy International Men's Day to Tim. To Tim. Come on, Tim. You were a fine looking male. Why did you do that to yourself? This man says he only feels safe and comfortable in the woman's bathroom. Well, a little shocker to you, women do not feel safe and comfortable with you. He claims to identify as a woman. And that's insane. You don't just like slap on a wig or even do surgery or do all of these hormone treatments. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you do all of that. It's not going to change the fact that you are a man.
I had a neighbor confront me for using the women's restroom.
Good. And good for your neighbor to confront you, because that is absolutely terrifying. Terrifying.
Here for 4.5 years. Everyone should know that I'm a trans woman. I've always been known as Kaylee. I've always used she, her.
I'm sorry, but the world does not exist around you. And for you to expect everybody to know what you identify as is just ridiculous. And that is the problem. They want everybody to use their terminology, use their pronouns, and make the entire world cater to them. But the world doesn't revolve around you.
Pronoun. I've been having some stomach issues because of Trulicity, and I had to use the bathroom real quick, and they're single-use bathrooms, and it's the only place that I feel safe using the women's bathroom. Well, I got done and got out, and this neighbor was talking to another neighbor and started pointing out the sign. I knew exactly what she was talking about because there's a big old woman sign. And I'm like, is there a problem? She's like, yeah, you're using the woman's restroom. You're a man. And I said, I'm a trans woman. She's like, no, you're a man. And she kept saying that over and over.
Oh, that must have just been so triggering. When somebody tells you the truth. When somebody tells you the truth. Telling somebody the truth is not meant to be offensive. Now, it's one thing to criticize somebody and start calling this person names, which she wasn't. She was just telling him the truth. You're a man. That's not an insult. For people to think that being a man is something bad or that that's an insult is just ridiculous. He's taking this as an insult. Oh, I'm a man. How could you say this to me? But that's true. It'd be like somebody looking at me and being like, you're 5'3", and me being like, oh, how could you say that? I identify as 6 feet tall. I'm powerful. I'm so tall. I can see over everybody at concerts. No, that's not reality. Sorry.
And she kept saying, you're not a she, you're a he. You shouldn't be using it. You were born a man. And just over and over. And honestly, I just lost it. And just started screaming and swearing. I just couldn't handle it. This is my home.
What's craziest about this is that he thinks that people are going to rush to the comments in love and support, in which many times they are going to do. They're going to be like, wow, that was just so mean of her. I can't believe that she said this to you. Especially like you really had to go. Like, stop.
This is my safe place. I should be able to use the restroom. The apartment manager knows I'm trans. Everyone knows my name is Kaylee. And then my group of friends, I thought my friends were all starting to yell at me saying I escalated, and because she had 2 kids. I didn't even see the kids. They were there and I just lost it. Fight, flight.
He's telling on himself right now. Nobody had to know that this happened, but he took it upon himself to go to the internet and let everybody know that he went berserk on a actual woman who was afraid and who had kids. He's like being so specific to tell on himself, to make himself look bad. Why? Why are you making it even worse after you just did this?
Fight or freeze, and I fought. You don't know what it's like to be a trans person. And then my one friend started yelling at me, and none of them stood up for them. They blamed me that I was the one that was at fault. When none of them stood up to me when this person kept calling me he, she, he, man, like triggering and awful. Like, I deal with enough.
Just because you get upset doesn't make it somebody else's problem. And I think that that is actually a really common problem in our world, is that when somebody gets angry, they blame the other person, or they actually blame everybody who was around in that situation, all of the other people who were there, instead of just thinking, you know, it was actually really wrong of me. I actually am a man. I shouldn't be using the women's bathroom, and I definitely shouldn't have gone crazy about it. But it is so common nowadays to think that just because somebody made us angry, when in truth nobody makes you do anything, we do it, we get angry. That is our own fault. It's just so common nowadays. And this guy wants sympathy for the fact that he couldn't control himself. Using the women's bathroom is a fetish for this person. He posted this picture. First of all, maybe don't do that. Second of all, here I am using a women's restroom in North Carolina that I'm technically barred from being in. They say I'm blank. They say I'm a man dressed as a woman. They say I'm a threat to their children. They say I'm confused. They say I'm dangerous. And they say accepting me as the person I have fought my life to be seen as reflects the downfall of a once great nation. I'm sorry, but this is not what it means to make America great. Not at all. Not at all. We don't have to pretend. So I found this video, and this woman just gave an absolute great response to one of the reporter's questions about the whole trans thing.
But they're sick of the trans ideology being shoved down our throats, and it's an attack on women and children all over the country. I don't think Nancy Mace's resolution does enough. I think we need to do more. That's what I asked Speaker Johnson, and he committed to me in the conference that that Sarah McBride will not be using our restrooms.
It's been reported
Good.
You said you'd get into a physical altercation with a biological male if you saw them in the bathroom. Would you get into a physical altercation with?
How is that reported?
So like this reporter is trying to make her look bad, taking her own words out of context and saying things that maybe she didn't even actually say, or just she's just being biased, you know? And this is what we are all up against.
How is that reported?
How
is that reported?
It's been on social media that was.
So how is that reported?
I'm just wondering if you would get into a physical altercation with.
I shouldn't
McBride,
have to, but I shouldn't have to do that. No woman should have to. But look at what men have been doing to women. Look at all the female athletes that have had to compete against men. You know, there's a volleyball player that has brain damage today because of a biological male spiking a ball into her.
Yes. It is incredibly dangerous. And for people to just be like, oh, these things don't actually affect us, or they don't actually happen that often, or it's just such a small minority, just let it be. You can't let it be. You can't, because then they do it more. And then the more accepting you are to it, the more people come out as trans, and then it becomes more and more common, and then it is something that we see every single day, and our country becomes more dangerous, sports become dangerous, and women lose their place in sports. This TikToker took off from work for Transgender Day of Remembrance because people at work didn't give trans people flowers.
Happy Tidor. I took today off because I had worked another day for Tidor, and it seemed like the job was not really recognizing. It was like I worked another day for a whole Tidor then, and it was like my job was just kind of like, okay. So I took today off because
it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous to actually expect some type of special treatment. Like nobody is getting special treatment. Nobody. So why do you think that you should? You're all far-right politicians and your little online troll brigade, whatever. You can change your name, wear women's clothing, inject hormones, and get surgery, but nothing will change the fact that you're a male and you don't belong in women's places. Going back to the point of when you're accepting to it, more people just come out as it, or we see more cases. Like a doctor from Children's National Hospital decided Tim McBride was transgender after just one visit. Are you kidding me? Riley Gaines shared this post that says, you know who doesn't have to take a selfie in the women's restroom to prove that they're women? Real women. And here we have the Michigan governor, Gretchen, promoting Trans Day as a remembrance and suggests LGBTQ people are under attack. They're not under attack.
Today we commemorate.
They're not under attack when people decide to stop putting up with bullcrap.
Today we commemorate Transgender Day of Remembrance, when we honor the memory of those who have lost their lives to anti-trans violence. I want the community to know that I see you and I will always have your back. Here in Michigan, we believe in the freedom and dignity of each person to live their lives without fear. We also believe that bullies and bigotry.
If you believe that no person should have to live their life in fear, then why don't you believe that women shouldn't have to have men in their restrooms, especially when women are the ones who go to the restrooms with their kids and it puts them at danger as well. But thankfully, Nancy has done something about this. Thank you, Nancy, for your bravery, and I hope that this will begin to extend to the rest of the nation. Please make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!